Good afternoon. I am Miss Jackson, Sally's third grade teacher, as you may know. How are you guys today? Good, good. Me too. So thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. It's always a pleasure to work with Sally. She brings so much positive energy to the classroom. I've really enjoyed watching her grow, especially as a reader and a writer. We've been focusing on building strong reading and writing skills. So in reading, we've been working not only on decoding words, so this means sounding them out, but also on engaging deeply with the material. So this means thinking critically, asking questions, and making connections to things she already knows. So bringing a real world perspective to it. For writing, we're focusing on organizing her thoughts clearly and expressing her ideas effectively. She has so many, but we just need to make sure that they come out just how she wants them to, and she's expressing her ideas effectively to where they have purpose in her writing. I've been so impressed with her progress in both areas, so reading and writing, and it's exciting seeing her growing in confidence. I'm really enjoying that. One framework I'd like to introduce to you is the Duke and Cartwright's active view of reading. So this approach encourages students to be more interactive with the text. So rather than Sally or, all students just reading the words, they are encouraged to think about what they're reading. So they're asking questions and making connections to prior knowledge. We want them to do all three of those things while they're reading. It's almost like having a conversation with the book. This helps them better understand and remember what they read. To better understand where Sally is in these areas, I've completed a few one-on-one assessments with her. The first assessments were just interest surveys and an informal interview. These give us insight on what excites her about reading and writing, as well as areas where she feels more confident or needs the extra support. So they help me figure out both things, and I really need that foundation to know where to begin working with her in these areas. So I learned that she loves reading, as you may know. Hopefully she's reading at home or reading to you guys, especially about animals and princesses. She tells me she got some new books recently, and that's really exciting. She enjoys improving her skills and reading to her siblings. That's really sweet. And writing, she likes expressing ideas and prefers informational writing. So I would think she would be all into the fantasy, but she loves when we do where she gets to research and really inform her audience when she's writing. And so that's interesting. And then while she enjoys reading, she still finds playing a bit more fun during her free time, of course, but age appropriate. We love that she would still love to pick up a book, but free time, you want to color, draw, have some fun. You're a kid still. We moved on to other assessments such as the picture walk and retelling evaluation, which align with the active view of reading framework that I was just mentioning. The picture walk assessment encourages students to engage with a story by making predictions and connecting to visuals before reading the text. It helps to assess their ability to sequence events and connect meaning from pictures to text. So during this assessment, Sally demonstrated strong engagement and enthusiasm, offering detailed observations and using strategies like predicting and asking questions to understand the story. However, she needs more practice with sequencing the events of the story in the correct order, so just putting things in order is a little bit harder for Sally to do. This is an area I'll continue to work with her on, so no worries there. The retelling evaluation involves Sally retelling a story, which helps me assess her grasp of story structure. So including the setting, the characters, problem, and solution. I'm trying to figure out what she can gather and retell from a story. While Sally demonstrated a solid understanding of basic story elements, she struggled to provide detailed character descriptions and organizing the story clearly. So, for instance, she often used vague terms like everybody instead of naming specific characters. And same thing with plot. She could tell me kind of the basic of what happened, whether it be they made friends versus how they made the friends. So just lacking the detail a little bit. She also has difficulty in identifying a clear goal or initiating events to drive the story forward and providing a specific ending. So it might just come out as the end versus what kind of the meaning of the story was. Like, she doesn't end it in that sense. It's very cut, brief, to the point. Despite these challenges, Sally did offer a solution to the problem where a new character arrived to help the main character. To address these areas for growth, I will work with Sally on structuring her retellings more effectively by focusing on a clear beginning, middle, and end. We're going to provide her more, I want her to provide more specific character details and develop a more coherent story structure. So that's what I'm working on her with, or I will be. At home, you can support Sally's development by discussing picture books together, asking her to predict story events, and encouraging her to retell stories in more detail. So if she tries to be a little bit more brief, you can use open-ended questions like, what do you think will happen next? Or, how did the character feel? To help her think more deeply about the story, so she can't get away with just cutting it short, being brief. Activities such as interactive story apps and sequencing games will also reinforce these skills and keep her engaged. So those are some things you can help there at home. I gave Sally these assessments to better understand where she stands in her reading development and to see how she's doing in different areas of literacy. As I had previously mentioned, the assessments focus on key skills like recognizing letter sounds, blending sounds, and understanding how words are structured by using frameworks like the Duke and Cartwright's active view of reading. I can see how well she's interacting with text and how we support her in improving these important reading skills. So Sally's strengths from these assessments include her ability to recognize letters and many high-frequency words. And she's also doing well with breaking down simple words into syllables. So these skills are important as they help decode words while reading. Additionally, Sally is motivated and excited about reading, which is a key strength. Like, that's exactly where we need her to be, is excited about it still, and that is very much where Sally is. However, there are areas for growth, particularly with more complex tasks like changing sounds and longer words and understanding tricky vowel sounds. She struggles with tasks like deletion and substitution, which are crucial for fluency and reading more advanced text. To help Sally improve, I will focus on exercises that work on these harder skills, like practicing with multisyllabic words and vowel sounds. Repeated practice will help her become more automatic and confident when reading. And so at home, you can help by practicing blending sounds together, pointing out vowel patterns in words, and encouraging her to break down longer words when reading aloud. Engaging in activities like this, including reading books that focus on specific sound patterns, will help Sally grow as a reader and make the process more enjoyable for her. And if you're interested, I can definitely send you home packets that can help you break this down. I can give you book suggestions. I can send books home. So that's kind of what I have for you, and I know that was a lot. So do you guys have any questions for me at this time?